Man, I'm going to get in trouble for this video, but I'm determined to address this issue. I have never addressed it in none of my previous 600 plus YouTube videos. The question is, why don't harmonica players get any respect? Well, why do you think? Now, it's a complicated question, and I'm going to suggest I'm not an either-or guy. I'm not the there's one unified field theory that will explain. I think it's a combination of factors. The first one is that when most people think of, well, I don't know which is the most important. Let's go back into history. This is not the most obvious, but I think it's important. When I'm 58 years old as I make this video, when I was a young man, I knew that my grandparents, when I would mention harmonica, well, when I was learning to play at the age of 17, when I would mention harmonica, they would talk about the Harmonicats. There was a tradition of harmonica playing that did not involve the diatonic harmonica. It involved harmonica quartets, and in some cases trios, with big bass harmonicas and with chromatic harmonicas, not the diatonic. And it always involved comedy. It was, and sometimes with Johnny Paleo, Bora Minovich, you'd have guys who were sort of, let's say they were little people. They were height challenged, I think we would say these days. And they would run around in funny costumes, and they would make all kinds of bouncy things, and they'd play brilliant harmonica stuff. That's one reason, because people associate the harmonica with that comic tradition, which really dates back to vaudeville, and before that, probably blackface minstrelsy, although I don't really think many harmonica players use blackface because it would rub off on the harp. Okay, that's reason number one. Number two, because it is the smallest instrument. Now, I think even the piccolo is bigger than this. The penny whistle is bigger than this. So reason number two why the harmonica gets no respect and harmonica players get no respect is that they're playing the smallest instrument. To many people, it looks like a toy. Many people think of it as a toy. In fact, if you ask professional harmonica players whether they've ever heard this question, when somebody says, "Oh, what do you play?" and you say the harmonica, the next question they have is, "Oh, cool. Do you play anything else? Do you play anything else?" Now, nobody would ever say that to a guitar player. They might say it to a trombone player, but probably not. They'd certainly never say it to a violin player or a piano player. "Oh, do you play anything else?" But the harmonica, because most people don't know the brilliance of the blues and depth of the blues harmonica repertoire. That's reason number two. Small instrument. And I guess that's reason 2 and 2A, people have ignorance of the tradition. Number three, a lot of the bandwidth for the harmonica over the years has been stolen by, and you know, his first name is Bob and his last name is Dylan, right? I think a lot of people, when they think about harmonica, they think about that kind of, it's actually deceptively difficult. I don't think I can even play the Bob Dylan style or Billy Joel Piano Man. It's the way most people play when they first pick up the harp, and they think, "Oh, I sound sort of like Bob Dylan." Well, and they think if I can sound like Bob Dylan when I've just picked up the dang instrument, it can't be that hard. As I've often said about harmonica, it's the easiest instrument to play badly, and one of the most difficult instruments to play really well. Violin's probably right up there with the harmonica in that respect. Guitar, on the other hand, it's kind of easy to sound pretty good when you learn a couple of chords right off the bat. So those are three reasons. I'm trying to think if there's a fourth. Is there a fourth? Or three enough? Well, here's another one. The harmonica, because it is deceptively easy to pick up and make sound on, after all, it has the word harmony sort of as a part of its title. Harmonica, harma, it's you know, okay, because it's deceptively easy to sort of, it's a quick start instrument, okay? And because of that, a lot of harmonica players, and especially blues players, or especially players who are guitar players and they pick up a harp and put it in a rack and just kind of toot along that way, the layman's sort of folk harp tradition, primitive folk music. Because of that, a lot of harmonica players don't think that they actually have to learn music. So that's reason number four, is that people don't respect harmonica players, and especially blues harmonica players, because a lot of blues harmonica players don't respect music. They don't They don't take a course in basic harmony. They don't understand what a root, a third, a fifth, a seventh, a ninth. They may hear it, but they can't talk that language. And so other musicians, now the general public doesn't not respect harmonica players because of that, but it's other musicians. So within musician culture, the harmonica player is sort of a joke. Next to, I'm trying to think, the only other equivalent joke of an instrument is the trombone. And there's and maybe the banjo, but there are any number of trombone player jokes. What's the difference between a dead trombone player and a dead squirrel in the road? The dead squirrel might have been on his way to a gig. It's sort of, well, the harmonica player could stand in. So those are 4 reasons, and this video is already going on too long. That's why blues harmonica players, and harmonica players in general, don't get any respect. They should get respect. And if you take the instrument seriously and really learn how to play the thing, then you'll get respect. You'll teach people what they're missing. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for asking.